Hello, this is Esther Lamnyam again, founder of Imitate Nature Academy, where we teach you how to use the simple laws of nature to create your desires, to actually have tangible manifestation of the ideas that you have in your head or of the things that you really want to create to have fulfillment, joy, and excitement in your life, the life of your family, and the life of your corporation. This program, Cracking the Code, the path to creating a fulfilling life, has 12 modules. They're very simple modules, but they're very deep modules. There are things that when you do them, you actually start seeing manifestation and a shift in your life and the lives of those around you. Because there's no way you can change without changing people around you. Because you have the power. And as you change yourself, this energy is going to propagate into others around you. And they also want that change. I have tutored kids and I've taught them this program, and they've gone to school, and even the teacher noticed a difference in them, and the kids were very, very excited. So there will be 12 modules. Some of the things I'll be teaching you in the modules, I've already talked to you about self-knowledge. We hear about self-knowledge a lot, but this is almost like self-knowledge should be like your lifelong mission, because you are so full of so many complicated and beautiful and exciting things, and if you don't know who you are, then you'll be at the mercy of the universe or those that are around you. And that knowledge empowers you, helps you to attract the people that you need to attract, helps you to create the relationships that you want to create, or get into the type of job or roles that are really, for you, that fits the energy and your innate abilities that are within you. So that is going to be one of the modules. Another module we'll be talking about is verbal contracts. In today's society, we are so used to signing contracts. Everything is like have it in writing. But spiritual principles don't have use for written contracts. Everything is a word. Every time you speak and every time you think, that is coming into manifestation. And if you don't know how to download it, like I explained in another video, then you just gather all these thoughts all around. However, other elements around you and people around you are hearing these words. Because everything is sound, is vibrations, is vowel, is energy, and is coming into tangible manifestation. So I'm going to teach you that, because there are things in the atmosphere that if you set the right environment, things will come into manifestation. What do I mean about that? An example, if I want a fruit fly, I just leave the fruit to get overripe in the house. And eventually the fruit fly will get, manifested. So there are other things too you can do with your life. When you know the laws, you will live such an effortless life and you'll be so much happier. And if even things go off trail a little, you can pull them back because you have the power and you have the ability. Another thing I'm going to be teaching you is grounding in one of the modules. How to ground. You see somebody gets married, or they buy a house and then something happens to them, or they have a baby and then they have a little issue, or something happens and then they lose it, they get a promotion, or they get some nice money and then it disappears. They didn't ground that energy. These are real things. You have to be able to hold on to that. And there are things you have to do to be able to make sure that these things stay in your life and they are useful. Also, another module I'll teach you about letting go. Letting go in relationships, letting go in things that don't work for you anymore, but also letting go in how to ask for help from spiritual principles. A lot of us get issues and we keep thinking about them, and every time you think about something, you are still working on it. The angels or the fruit fly or whoever is out there that is supposed to help us will not violate us. So they won't do anything about it. Imagine it this way. You write an email and you leave it in draft. You keep editing the draft and you don't hit send. The routers are not going to pick up this email and deliver it so that the other person responds to it. And so sometimes we have desires in our heart and we think our prayers are not being answered. It's because we have not let go. We have not released. So you got to learn how to let go of relationships and things that don't work for you anymore because you are just in a different space. Because now that you know yourself and you know your purpose and how to make that in manifestation, there might be some things around you, people, clothing, that you don't need anymore. You have to move. So that's one way of letting go. Letting go is just letting go of your desires, your request. When you make a request, you got to let go. So if you try the law of attraction or the secret and things are not happening, maybe you're holding on to stuff. You're not letting go. So that's one of the things I'm going to teach you. Another tool of nature that I'm going to teach you and very powerful is the use of the triangle. We're going to use triangles. The tools are already here. We're going to use circles. So this is, if every time you see rectangles and four-sided things, you think about foundation. Every house has a good solid foundation. Every good project has a good project plan. Every relationship should have a solid foundation. What happens with relationships, sometimes you start dating. You start as a date, then you eventually say you're getting married. You didn't lay the marital foundation. You laid a dating foundation. The energy here is totally different. And if you invite the wrong deities, if you really want a solid foundation, if you don't lay a solid foundation, don't go get married in church or put your hand on the religious things, because that is where verbal contracts come in. Because I'm going to teach you about verbal contracts. Everything we speak is a contract. You don't have to write it down. We're the ones in our own civilization to manage, so that people respect each other. We have contracts. But spiritual entities don't have use for contracts, for written contracts. Everything you speak is verbal. So I'm going to teach you about a verbal contract. I'm going to teach you how to, we talked earlier about creating soup. You're going to put your input and you have the output. You have a bowl of soup right here where you can, nice cup of soup you can eat. However, how to get from soup, oil, vegetable, water, how to get that to mix real good, you need an element, and that element will have to be heat. But you also have intangible elements here that are going to help you. So if you want a baby, you have the egg and the sperm. In here is where compilation takes place, like a compiler in the program. But you need to put the inputs. You need to know the right inputs to put. So if you are working on a project and it's not, you keep failing, you're having a relationship and it breaks, some of the tools I've shared with you so far are some of the things that you may have to think about and see how you are using them. And if you are being steadfast and consistent. Because if you do, the laws of nature work. They've been here forever, like gravity, So that's what I'm going to be teaching you, because I have been working with people for a long time. And myself, how I really got on this journey, like I told you, it started when I was in Africa. But also a few years ago, I was having health-related issues. And the doctor gave me medication over and over, and the problem will come back after 6, 7, 8 months. Eventually, I didn't want the medication. So I decided to go on a journey of self-healing, to heal myself, and to see why I was having this problem. And in that journey, I found out that I already had the gift of healing. As a child, I knew what herbs to use. When I was in the playground, I would, squeeze the herbs, spit on it. I didn't even realize spittle has saliva has enzymes in it. I'll put on a mosquito bite, or I'll put on my wound and keep playing. I never went to the hospital as a child. So when I started helping myself, I started learning other healing modalities like iridology, herbs, food and nutrition, internal exercises that strengthen you from inside, not just from outside, so that you can be strong within. Breathing exercises. I helped a lot of people, and along the way, they will come back later. Like, oh, I'm having this issue, and I'm like, well, we took care of this a year ago. What happened? And I realized that they needed these tools. It might have been their sleep habits. It could be the words they are using, or the way they are eating and combining foods, or the relationships in their life, or the space where they were. So that's how come I got into coaching. And I wrote the book, and the books here, these are self-help books, except this is a book of poetry. When I was young, I decided to publish this under a separate title before I published the ones that I wrote when I was much older. And I realized that once they had these tools, we didn't really have to take care of their problem. Maybe somebody had a headache, maybe they needed to sleep better, they need to drink water, they need to sleep with the window cracked, or they were eating gluten food that was causing them the headaches. So once we took care of that, the problem went away. So people started calling me Miss Fix at the Root. Fixing, at the root. That's one of the people many people I work with, they say you fix at the root. Because once I fix right there, the problem itself takes care of itself. You don't have to do that. And this is very helpful. You can teach your kids, you teach your family, teach your congregation. So, I hope you get on this journey with me. But if not, I hope some of the tools I've shared with you so far will move the needle for you a little in your life. And I hope we get to meet again somehow. But I wish you the best, and I'm very, very happy you took time to listen to my video. So get on the program, The Path to Creating a Successful Life. you don't have anything to lose but frustration, but you get a lot of success. Thank you. And this is Esther Lamnyam.